back to Newsmaker Live, and we want to thank you again for staying tuned to this program. We have with us, for the first part of our program, Joycey Medrick. She is the executive producer of Caribbean Collections, a fashion show, and I'm sure she will take my head for saying a fashion show, because I'm sure you have in your industry a more sophisticated way of, of referring to it. Caribbean Collections, of course, in its 16th season, coming up this weekend, Saturday actually. So she wants you to come out and see all local fashion. Now, as I was saying, Joycey, somebody like me would not be familiar, who is really not familiar with fashion, who probably just grabs stuff and put it, then, you know, puts it together. What should I be looking for when I'm watching models strutting it on the catwalk?
Okay, let me just say this. I think everybody has a sense of style.
Mm-hmm.
They may not always be coordinated, but in your
are you saying something about me here?
No, you just said that you just put things together. So I'm starting with this. As simple as it is. When models grace the catwalk, generally designers have an idea of what they want to portray. And so this is why you'd move from one runway to the next, where a model may look or present themselves or present their wear in a particular way, in terms of their style of walking. And then when they go into another runway, which is another designer, then they may change the style of walking. So a lot of that, sometimes people don't understand, but there's a reason why you shift from one to the next. Additionally, designers also produce what we refer to as showstoppers, and it's really for show. It's a way of showing how well or how good they are with, you know, their talent. Some people may see those things on the runway and think it is unrealistic, nobody's going to wear it, but trust me, there are people who do wear it. But more importantly, it's art, and it's their way of showing their art. And then they do the more realistic fashion line that we buy, the bread and butter lines and stuff like that.
But for me, when I'm watching models on the runway, I see them in, as you just described, unrealistic pieces, you know, just these extravagant pieces, and I'm thinking, I mean, but who would wear that, and where would you wear that? But, you know, apart from Lady Gaga and those who
you have the red
these,
carpet,
you know,
red carpet events. And even for our event, we do have a red carpet arrival, and we have Baileys who have come on board to sponsor. And so persons, as they come in, will be treated to Baileys. And you know, Baileys is a sophisticated drink, has a nice feminine touch. So you're not just coming to, you're coming to an event, and, you know, you'll be treated like royalty. So
what do you have for the gentlemen who come in? You said Baileys.
We have water. We have we have flavored water.
Okay.
And maybe a little champagne, you know, and we don't want the bare belly, so we're keeping it nice and simple for the men.
Let's talk a bit about the show this Saturday. Tell me a little bit more about it. Where is it taking place? How can people participate, and what are the rules when you, I mean, of course, it's a catwalk runway, you know, whistling and whatever, cat whistles and that kind of thing. You expect that? Generally?
Yeah, I forgot to add something. There's more to the show than just fashion. We also have our St. Lucian opera star in the person of Blaise Pascal, and he will be gracing us. And of course, again, you know, showing how talent and the whole music and, you know, what he does best with his opera, and really creating the mood for it. So, you know, patrons can come in and take in a bit of that as well. There is no rule. Did you ask about arrival? There's no rule to it. As you know, it's a fashion. You make a fashion statement. Like I said, we're doing the red dress component of it in support of women's health. So if you wanted to wear red shoes, purple dress, doesn't matter. You know, the paparazzis will be there. We have foreign press. We have the cameras rolling, and you get an opportunity to be photographed on the red carpet, as well as, you know, do your little, say your little something on, you know, on the cameras rolling. And it's just really going to be a nice event. And the tickets are available at Sunshine Bookstores, at Gablewoods Mall and JQ. We have Wings of Love, as well as Steve Barbershop. And for persons who may choose to pay at the door, they can do that as well. But we encourage you to get your tickets before, because Sandals is, seats are going, the tickets are going fast, seats are going quickly. And I think, if you really want to be part of the event, you really need to try and get your ticket before you get there.
Now, let me take your mind back to 1995, 1996, when you first started, and compare what you had then to what this fashion show, this fashion competition has emerged into. Just describe that journey from there to now, and what are you seeing now that you could not have imagined back then?
Okay, back then it was really, really tough, because I had just decided to retire from competition, as well as being a model is a short-lived career. Mm-hmm. And at one time you had a 7-year span. It's no longer. It's 2-3 years, and it's who decides to invest in you. So back then, when I was just, coming out of the running around and getting the jobs, I had chatted with my mom, she's always supporting charity. And so she had mentioned about the Children's Home, which is a charity that we support. And I thought, you know what, I've always wanted to do a big show here. Here was the opportunity. And I said, you know what, I'm going to do this show, and in support of the Children's Home. I was really, really tough, because we seem to have had, and even now we still do, have so many modeling agencies. And I'm really not trying to discount people's effort, and I don't want to be misunderstood, but I have to say it. We have so many modeling agencies, and realistically we don't have as many models as we should have in terms of coming out of the agencies. So for me, I don't know what their purpose is, but back then it was difficult, because you had modeling agencies and you had that same problem. But having an eye for it, I've always been scouting for talent, and sometimes I stop people or I explain to them, what have you. There's still the misconception that a model is less than, but it's not that. A model is really a marketing person, and until models understand that that is their role and function in a model context, they may not be able to make the transition. It's because it's really not about you as a model. It's about the person you're working for. So it was a little difficult, and but we went past it. It was a great show. Back then I had my friend Munia, who was at the time Yves Saint Laurent's top black model out of Paris, and she endorsed the event, and she graced us with her presence at the Cultural Center. And trust me, that night was the bomb, because Munia revealed when the closing of the show, and St. Lucians had never seen that, and it was the first, and I was quite pleased that I cried.
What's that reveal about? Because
she was carrying a piece for Calvin Southwell, which was all lace, and she was covered, and when she turned around, she released, and she was bare. She had beautiful boobs, and those boobs were just sticking there, and the cameraman was just running all over. And that's how it's done. You're
giving some people, a reason to
come
out
to
the show.
No, but it's part of the industry. I mean, you have, it's beautiful bodies, it's taking care, it's a lifestyle change. It's taking care of self and understanding what your role is, and that's it. No sooner she got off, you get back into your life. That doesn't make you any less. It's just what the designer wants, and how well are you going to sell the piece that he or she has asked you to carry. And that was her role, and it's understanding that as a model. For example, I think even now, I think it's even more difficult for me, even when I try to train people. There are different styles of walking, and coming from and I'm going to say the old school, there is the right way and there's the wrong way. And until you understand how your body works and how the science to it, balancing your body and stuff like that, you see models on the runway, and we tend to emulate, but we don't understand why they do it. As I said, one designer may want you to walk in a particular style. That doesn't mean it's suitable for another. So you must be able to be flexible, that if I say to you, for example, as the producer, I'm sorry, this is not the style that I want, I'd like you to do this, not to feel offended or to feel less that I've asked you to change your walk. You need to at least get to the place to say, okay, if you don't know, show me. Or if I show, okay, some people are a little slower than others, rather than take offense and remove yourself from a production because you don't understand what is required of you. But then this is St. Lucia, and I guess it's what models are models.
Now, as you mentioned Munia, the name just rang a bell, and I'm rewinding my mind as well, and I remember that I interviewed you and Munia when I was at RSL.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yes, many,
true.
many.
That is true.
And she showed me her catalog. I was going through that then.
Yes.
I mean,
wow.
Wow.
Because she had also shown her line, because she had started her line as well. And we've had Rochambeau, we've had Anton. There's a long list of international persons that have come to St. Lucia. And we're hoping that we can grow it, because the whole idea is to, you know, to develop it into Fashion Week, as we've started this year, but on a small scale. But, you know, growing in the direction where we can actually have 3-day runways. One of the things that I've said, even in my proposals to some of my sponsors, in St. Lucia we have the Jazz Festival, we have Carnival, we have cricket sometimes, but in the peak season, when the hotels are supposedly full, we have nothing to really engage or to get clients to come out, other than what is being provided through the hotels. We have so many music festivals or musical shows, but this is the only one of its kind. I mean, there are other people who do fashion stuff, and I'm not knocking their effort, but I take pride, and I think we truly believe in what we're doing, and this is an excellent opportunity to market St. Lucia beyond, because I mean, every time I go to a fashion event and I'm interviewed, I'm from St. Lucia, so just me saying it, and everybody's always curious, okay, I want to come, you know, can I do your show next year? I have a long list of international people who want to come to St. Lucia. Can I do your show and stuff? But I do have my constraints, and I'm hoping that maybe at some point, slowly it's getting there, that people or persons who can afford to will buy into the idea and make it what it really should be.
Now, talk about the models a bit, because I mean, we've talked about the designers and stuff, but the models play an integral part in that, in the last minute that we have in for this segment of the show anyway. Talk just briefly about the models. And
for me, I think the models are key, because without them, and I always try to treat them as my celebrities, without them, there's no show. We have a very diverse cast in terms of height, size, color, and St. Lucia really does have beautiful men and women, but we don't see it. And you know, there's the transition that happens when they come and they seem so you know, unassuming. Some of them don't even truly understand or see themselves like you see them or I see them. And just the transformation, sometimes I tell them, you know, ugly ducklings into beautiful swans. That transformation is so rewarding, and it's one of the things that I enjoy most in the show. You know, just watching them go through their rehearsals and feeling, you know, not too confident, and on the night when they transformed, they're just beautiful. And I believe there are lots of them who can grace any magazine, and I'm not just saying that. It's just a matter of them believing and understanding their role and understanding what it is that they do, and they can be on any of the covers.
Final last pitch for you for fashion, Caribbean Collections, St. Lucia Fashion Week.
Yes, that's
Caribbean
what it
Collections,
is.
yes.
Well, I just want to say, well, thank you for giving me the opportunity, and I want to appeal to St. Lucians. I know some persons have said that it's expensive. We don't think it is for what it is that we're offering. I know everybody's going through their crunch, but it may be a night that you let your hair down and come out and experience and be in a different environment and see what we truly have to offer in St. Lucia. If nothing but in support, like I say, for women's health, the Red Dress campaign, the Heart Truth campaign, for the Heart and Lung Association. And they will also be there to educate and to share and impart knowledge along those lines for our women, for our youngsters, and you know, just thank you. Thank you for St. Lucia for supporting us thus far.
Well, thank you very much, Joyce Medrick, executive producer of Caribbean Collections. And Caribbean Collections, as she said, is into its 16th year. And I think that is a tremendous and remarkable feat to be on for 16 seasons, and in an industry that is not as big as others on the island. So wishing you all the best, Joyce, and I hope that people come out and support Caribbean Collections this Saturday. Well, we have a packed show, as I said. We have Arnold Henry. He is an author. He's only 27 years old, but he has already written a book cataloging his progress through his basketball career, school, home, and everything else. We'll be speaking with him on the other side of the break. His book, Holding On hanging on to my dreams. Not holding, but hanging on to my dreams. Stay with us. Newsmaker Live continues right after this.